Ah, yes! You didn't get that sound last week, but you do this week. Oh, yes. It's an off week. So we're on the island of Greentopia celebrating, having some fun. For an In the News special. In the Paddock F1, Greenie and the Cheese. A lot of news this week. A lot of news. A little soap opera, if you ask me. But I like it. Give us something to talk about.
That's for darn sure. It has been a soap opera week, man. After the triple header, I guess that's what you get after a triple header in the Paddock F1, Greenie and the Cheese. Thanks for joining us. You can always hit us up on that YouTube, trying to get to 1,000. We get to 4 digits in the subscribers. We're gonna do it in 2025. So help us out there. Jump on the YouTube, watch us there. Check out the program, check out some of our shorts and things we're working on. I'm working on some new material coming out soon. Also, you can email us in the paddock@gmail.com, Feel free to email us there and jump on and join the program and say what you got to say. So, of course, we got a lot of news going on. Like you said, a lot of drama going on. And I think you wanted to start with some Max Verstappen drama, as it looks like Max isn't so happy with Red Bull. Not too surprising, and may want to look at greener pastures. What have you been hearing, Cheese?
That is the rumor, and it has been reported that George Russell had a meeting with Christian Horner about a possible seat at Red Bull. That's spicy meatball.
It is a spicy meatball. Listen, George Russell's been driving phenomenally this year. It looked like Mercedes was taking a step backwards last year, and now they're taking a step forwards. They're better than Ferrari. They're better than Red Bull. They're clearly the second best team. And there's been rumors swirling about, McLaren's potential second half downfall and rear wing options and things like that. So it's going to be a long season, and Mercedes could be the team that's second best, or even competing with McLaren going down the stretch this season. You never know what can happen, and if McLaren can keep the torrid pace they're on, winning 4 of the first 5 races of the season. So, super, super interesting. And listen, Max Verstappen's been rumored to go everywhere. Aston Martin, we're talking just a couple weeks ago. Who knows where he'll end up? To retirement?
Total Wolff has been chasing him. Yeah, the rumor of him taking like a year sabbatical and then coming back. There's a lot of stuff flying around right now with Max, but for George Russell to be taking that meeting, that's pretty huge. That's pretty huge. And he's covering his bases in case he's, not going to be at Mercedes. So, I mean, outside of Max possibly changing teams, because he does have an out in his contract. If he doesn't finish like third in the driver's standing or something like that, he can void out. So, and Total Wolff has been, absolutely talking about trying to get Max Verstappen. He's met with Jos Verstappen last year, was big news at times. So George Russell's just, I guess covered his bases, and that besides Max Verstappen, as I was trying to say there before I got sidetracked, he's just covering his base that in case he's not there, he needs a seat. And George Russell would then probably be the next biggest driver in the driver's market to move somewhere.
Absolutely.
That teams would definitely be trying to, go after.
Absolutely. Well, speaking about drivers moving around, retirement and whatnot, been a lot of rumors swirling about your boys at Ferrari and what's going on with Lewis Hamilton. Obviously not happy with the start. You predicted Lewis Hamilton would win a race this season. I don't know if your bold predictions are taking a step back with a Lewis Hamilton win at some point this season, but not looking great for him. I know he's not happy. Ferrari's not happy. He was back in London this past week. Not so happy. What is going on with Lewis Hamilton? Rumors swirling he might retire in the middle of this season. What is going on at Ferrari?
Insane. I think that's a little far stretched. I mean, it's not as easy as it used to change cars. I mean, you can see that with a couple other drivers that changed teams and have got off to struggles with their new equipment. I mean, the Ferrari's also said to be like on edge all the time, so that's a problem. So I think it's a car problem as well. That's factoring in and getting used to a new team, new environment. I mean, Lewis Hamilton's been with Mercedes for, was it 8-9 years? And then before that, he was with McLaren forever. So it's a completely new environment. I mean, he's a completely new country to be in consistently, being based out of Italy. So that's a different drama, different terminology that teams use, different way the buttons are on the steering wheel.
Culture. It's culture difference.
It's a different culture difference. There's a lot of things you could factor, and it's going to take a little time. And if the car isn't that great either, that's not a good thing either. So it's going to take time. Ferrari know that they have a problem with the car. It's been said. The car is basically on edge all the time, which is not a good race car. Bottom line. They have a lot of work to do with the car, but I think the rumors of Lewis just quitting mid-season are completely insane. Like, that's insane.
That's fair. Lewis's track record would not indicate at all.
Not indicate at all, no.
There's no indication at all that he would quit, but it makes for great fodder on a week off after having
for sure.
back-to-back weeks of action-packed weekends. Need something to talk about. And speaking of something to talk about, we have a new track with a 10-year, I believe, 2028. I believe I thought it was a joke at first, but they're calling it the Madring. That's the new Madrid street circuit. It's not even the street circuit originally when I was in Madrid last year. You guys can all check out that episode when I was in Madrid interviewing some tour guides there about where the track might be, as F1 was in Madrid when I was in Madrid as well. And we're talking about street race. We're talking about where it could be. It could go, past the turnaround around the train station area and all these other. No, it's going to be out in like the boonies by some old industrial. It's going to be Miami 2.0. And oh yes, if you saw the track, I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's pretty much just going to be like a slower version of Jeddah. That turn 1, turn 2, pretty much exactly that same straightaway right into that left right. Very similar. Seems very like new wave track, generic track, which was once an exciting layout for a track, is now becoming kind of a cookie cutter track, what it feels like. And so if you haven't seen that, check that out. I think it came out within the last 24 hours, and they have a video released of what the track looks like, or proposed track looking like. So thoughts on going to Madrid, 10 years, another track out in the middle of the boonies? How you feeling, Cheese?
To be honest, I'd rather them be staying in Barcelona, but the people in Barcelona don't want them there either. So they don't want anybody there. You've been to Barcelona, you know this.
Barcelona, but the whole Catalonian region does not appreciate Spain. If you've never lived there or been there,
but they don't want the people.
It's difficult to understand.
They don't want the tourists there.
They hate the tourists. They hate the tourists in Barcelona.
Not good.
You go down to La Rambla and you'll get sprayed with water guns by the tourists, by the locals over there. They hate the tourists, even though they thrive on the tourist money. But I'm not going to get into the politics there. Yeah. They don't want the race in Barcelona. They've had enough in Barcelona. It's going to Madrid. People in Madrid are excited about it, and now they're going from like a street circuit Madrid to a total fake out and going out to some industrial section, I believe just south of the city. So,
I mean,
interesting, but cookie. It feels just so cookie cutter.
Yeah, well, it's. I would have rather seen them like build a track outside of Madrid than to go and do another street circuit. I mean, I think the drivers are even starting to get sick of street circuits. At this point, they keep just adding street circuit after street circuit after street circuit. And they'd rather race at a proper racetrack, which is what Barcelona is. Catalunya is a proper damn racetrack.
Absolutely.
So going to another street circuit, I'm, to be honest, not a big fan of. I think there's plenty of them on the calendar right now. I don't think we need any more. I think we need more of even a classic style racetrack. Just a proper classic racetrack. And I think F1's missing out on that. With just adding street race after street circuit.
Yeah, and I don't know how it's evaluated, how they make that determination, whether it's the conjunction with the city, whether this is just, Formula One and FIA making the decisions and presenting it to the city. I don't know. I know it's a major expense. Speaking of major expenses and tracks that were kind of mistakes, photos came out this week, I don't know if you saw them, of the abandoned track in Vietnam.
Yes.
Those came out as the $600 million track, which never was. It came out. Interesting photos. I know we didn't talk about it in the pre-show there, but another interesting, fall. Obviously, that was, it was supposed to be in 2020, and then COVID happened, and it was canceled, and so unfortunately, but it just shows, like, I know there's a 10-year deal here, but this could be another track that just goes to the wayside in this seems like a fad, like these almost like trying to copy a Monza with a street flair. Just come up with a unique idea, and as you mentioned a moment ago, Catalan, the Barcelona track, the Catalonian track is unique track. It has unique features, with the, going up the hill there and on the and into the back straight, and it's unique. And come up with a new idea. It's not like there's 700 tracks on here. You got 25 tracks. Come up with a new idea. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. 100%.
There was some clapback this week. Lance Stroll set a record, the unwanted record of being eliminated 75 times in Q1. And he had a little clapback there and said, it's not about him. It's not just about him. It's about the car. It's about, he was on that Williams team that, was definitely the worst in Formula One at the time. Yeah. And, give it up. I'm gonna give it up to the race.com, who put together a phenomenal chart here showing statistically all 173 races. So the question for you, Cheese, how many times, what percentage of times out of the 173 times did Lance Stroll out-qualify his own teammate? Because he clapped back pretty hard, as if it was 50-50. It's not 50-50. What percentage do you think? Give me a number, the percentage of times that Lance Stroll qualified ahead of his teammate.
It's definitely not going to be high at all.
It's a losing record, I'll give you that. And that's no shock to anyone listening or has followed Formula One.
28%.
That is a very close number. 24.8, about just under 25% of the time. That's bad. And that is not a small sample. That is 173 qualies. Yeah. Out of 173 times entering quali, he has outqualified his own teammate only 43 times. Now, he's had some pretty good teammates. He's raced with some world champions. He started his career with Felipe Massa, who was a pretty good driver at the time. So, but under 25%, you better keep your mouth shut, okay? And that is an unwanted record, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's a well-deserved record if you look at his numbers. And if it wasn't for his daddy, he would have been out of the league and out of Formula One a long time ago. And those numbers are glaring. I want to dig into him just a little bit more before we move on. Q1, he was eliminated 75 times in Q1 versus teammates being eliminated 47 times. Q2, he made it through. Actually, he was more successful in Q2, 58 to 52, so it was pretty close in Q2. But Q3 was the flip-flop of Q1. He was outqualified 74 times to 40 times when he did make it to Q3. Over 100 times making it to Q3. But overall, that's a bad percentage. And for you to try to clap back like that when you have an under 25% lifetime record of out-qualifying your teammate, you just know your role and shut your mouth.
Well, yeah, you can't be talking if you're under 25%. That's not good, dude. That's not good. That's if he was anybody else, he would have been at a Formula One a number of years ago with numbers like that.
These numbers are like Latifi-esque numbers he's got.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good stuff.
No.
All right, sir. As those who are currently watching as we're sitting here on a Sunday afternoon in the U.S., and if you're currently waiting for Shedeur Sanders to be drafted in the National Football League draft, patiently.
Isn't it Saturday?
Watching him fall. I'm sorry, it's Saturday. We're so used to going on Sunday. I apologize. It's Saturday afternoon.
Thought I was like, wait a minute, did I just miss a whole day?
You did not miss a whole day. I just had a momentarily lapse of normally, as we're going on Sundays here, doing a Saturday show.
What kind of bender did you go on this week?
Not good enough of one. But where are we heading in only, I believe, a week's time? We have a quick turnaround here. Coming to the U.S. and
South Beach, baby. Miami.
Another parking lot.
Right around the parking lot. And we'll call it an Autodromo.
We will call it the Autodromo.
It's a parking lot. Right around the stadium.
Bold prediction is Oscar Piastri going to make it 3 in a row.
It's hot right now. I'd say probably. I mean, you'd probably put your money on it at this point.
Could be. Might have to put your money on it.
Without seeing how, everybody looks on track a week ahead, yeah, you'd probably have to put your money on Oscar at this point.
Well, we will see what happens in only 7 days' time. Say what you got to say, brother.
I'll see you guys in a week's time.
Thanks for joining us, of course.
Stay medicated, my friends.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining us. Check out the YouTube channel, and we will see y'all next week. Peace.